Welcome to Mission Driven Founders, where passion meets purpose. If you're dreaming of starting your own business, whether it's in beauty, wellness, or beyond, you're in the right place. We are going behind the scenes with inspiring entrepreneurs who are not just building brands, but driving real change. Hit subscribe, tap the bell for updates, and stick around. This conversation could be the spark that ignites your journey. Today, we're excited to introduce Zsofia and Marta, the founders of the Fertility Class, a groundbreaking program empowering women to reconnect with their bodies and transform their reproductive health naturally. Zsofia, a former fashion executive, overcame PCOS and introduced fertility focused exercises to the UK from Hungary. Marta, a former professional ballroom dancer turned yoga teacher and integrative nutritionist, combines movement, nutrition, and hormonal health expertise to support women on their fertility journey. Together, they've created a unique blend of movement, nutrition, and mindfulness that has been life changing for so many women struggling with fertility. Now, let's dive into Zsofia and Marta's inspiring journey and see how they're contributing to our movement and making a difference in the world. Thank you so much, both of you, for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having us. We're so
Yeah,
excited to
thank
be here.
you.
So, your brand's journey is truly inspiring. Can you take us back to the moment when it all began? And what sparked the idea for the fertility class? And how did you turn that inspiration into a reality?
So both Marta and I struggled with gynecological issues, as you mentioned in your intro. And as most women who have some sort of difficulties in their lives, we start researching. And so one of the things that we came across was fertility health exercises. And for both of us, it was life-changing. We tried all of the holistic natural methods. Some work a little bit, some don't work at all. But fertility health exercises was, I think I can say, I can definitely speak for myself, was life-changing in terms of healing from this condition. So I became a certified teacher. Marta also became a certified teacher, and so we've been doing it for over 10 years. And so we have, at first we started teaching friends and family, and they started having the same results as us. And when I say results, maybe it was periods that were their cycles that were irregular. Maybe they didn't have periods for years. Maybe they had one of these conditions like PCOS. The list is so long. And so, we realized that we're onto something. And so we started teaching more women. And as you mentioned, I did this as a hobby on the side. And so we then had no choice but to start the fertility class, because it was something that was just so helpful for women and relatively unknown. So we've really made this our mission to spread the word. I'd love for you to
Yeah,
share
I
more.
mean, exactly. And I think, Zsofia mentioned that we've been doing this for a very long time. I'm in LA, Zsofia is in the New York area, and we realized that locally, you can only reach so many women, you can only help so many people. But once we joined forces and filmed everything and put it online, now it can reach anyone, anywhere, anytime. And that's the beauty of it, that even if you are in Tennessee or wherever in the world, you can, just log in and start exercising with us.
That is amazing. I just love the outreach and how many people you can help, how many women and families, right? You can help with
Yeah.
these exercises and the nutrition and the classes, the fertility class. And I love the name too.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
And the
you.
fertility here, we love to, say this out loud and shout it out loud that, fertility means so much more than just the ability to conceive. It's really means that you feel good in your skin, that you feel empowered as a woman, and you also feel emotionally stable, right? So if you want beautiful skin and hair and healthy libido and weight, that ties back to hormonal health. That is fertility health.
That
And
is so true. It's not just conceiving a baby. It goes so much deeper than that. And I love what you just said. And so many women can benefit from this, even if you don't want to conceive, right? You can take
Yeah,
the fertility class and feel good about yourself and your body.
yes,
absolutely.
yes, fertility is really from puberty until past menopause, fertility health. It's your cycles are your fifth vital sign, and just your hormones dictate everything in your life. So it's really important for us to not just talk about fertility, but to spread the word that, hormone balancing is really one of the big secrets of health, and exercise can impact it. So a lot of times you get advice that movement is important and exercise is important, but what type of exercise, how often, and what can targeted exercise do for you? It can really be magic. So that's what we feel like is our mission, to spread the word. And I cannot tell you how exciting it is when someone reaches out to you and says, I got my period, Zsofia, and because they haven't had it for a year and a half, or I just had my IUI and my uterine lining has never been so good according to the doctor. Or I can tell you about so many cases where we had women. I had one woman recently who has been trying to get pregnant for 8 years. She's tried everything, and she was doing the exercises for 4 months. And so after 8 years of trying, 4 months of exercises gave her the positive pregnancy test. So, it's just such a rewarding work.
Yeah. And I also would love to add to that, we would love people to start to hop on these exercises as early as possible, meaning as young as possible, because as a teen or, if you're in your early 20s, you'll learn also body awareness, right? Like how your body works, how you move it, what you can reach with these exercises. And later on, it's part of longevity, right? Ovarian reserve is how you age, right? As long as you have a regular pain-free ovulatory cycle, you have those estrogen, progesterone, like lubricating your muscle, your heart, and bone tissue. So it is the way to not to get old.
Incredible. That is so true. Even after, when you're older and you don't want to conceive, or you can't conceive anymore because you're on menopause, you can still work on your body and work
Yeah.
on your libido and your just your hormonal health. I love that.
Yeah,
Incredible.
I mean, when you are in perimenopause, when you are, 35 and over, I think people don't necessarily know this, but 35 and over, you are officially in perimenopause. So you have to work extra hard, right, to keep that, that desired weight, the desired libido, and the hair, the skin, everything how you would love it to be on a long term. And it starts with exercise and good nutrition and stress management and all that jazz.
And do you work with doctors as well? Like, do you partner with doctors to work with them with complement with whatever they're doing, the hormonal replacement or anything like that?
Yeah, it's actually really important to mention that the exercises are complementary to fertility treatments, for example. So we have a lot of women who we work with who are either thinking about starting an IUI or IVF process, or are already officially on the schedule. So we definitely want people to start this as early as possible to reap the benefits, but it does go hand in hand with fertility treatments. To answer your question, we work with a long roster of medical doctors who either send patients to us, or we work in tandem with them. So, and that can be all kinds of different medical doctors. We are also the featured exercise program for a lot of fertility apps. So we're working with Dr. Carmen Messerlian. She's a Harvard medical fertility scientist, and she is building her app called V-Science. So we're the featured exercise program on her app, and a couple of more. We're building that out. And so we're also, looking to work with more doctors, with more fertility providers, because it's such a nice tool for women to have something like this. Because if you think about it, if you're having, whether it's hormonal issues or fertility issues, what tools do you have yourself that you can work with? And it's quite limited. You know, you might be referred to an acupuncturist or reflexologist. You might buy, you know, a slew of supplements. You might be working with somebody you might not, but we really give you an actual tool that you can work with and feel good about and feel great doing it. And it, you know, it does great things for you. So we really want people to try it. You know, there's nothing you can lose
Right.
by just exercising. So that I think is the most important thing, is to give you a tool.
And it probably helps a lot with the mental health aspect as well. Like the
Absolutely. I love to speak to that, when you're moving your body and you're moving it to music, you automatically kickstart the body's parasympathetic nervous system. So you can move from the flight or fight to rest and digest. And that's where healing starts, right? So movement is a beautiful outlet and vehicle to strengthen your body and get that blood flow to have your uterus, ovaries, fallopian tubes in tip-top shape. But also you are moving your body, breathing, and you have this fantastic music that we put on, and that also just like releases so much stress and anxiety. And I can speak to that because I'm a nervous person in general, and sometimes I just hop on our own classes and do it. And I call Zsofia, I feel so much better. That really works.
It really, really works. It works on you and it works on all the clients that you have. I love that.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And
and stress
beyond
really
that,
impacts fertility health. I mean, that
yeah,
really is the most important thing, that you have to find ways to reduce stress. And so we give you a lot of different tools as part of the fertility class to lower that stress, because that then has such a positive impact on fertility in terms of conception, but your cycle and your hormones and your mood.
And they do say that fertility and stress, like they don't go together. The stress really affects fertility.
exactly. Yes. And, I don't want to get too nitty-gritty about that, but when you are in a survival mode, so your body's pumping out that cortisol, that stress hormones, the cortisol steals the building blocks of estrogen and progesterone, like your sex hormones. So you either in survival mode and you're trying to survive, or you are in rest and digest, and that's where actually reproduction is possible, regardless whether you want it or not. But that's where health is, right? That you're able to have a regular premenstrual ovulatory cycle. You're going to hear me say that a lot because that's a vital sign, as Zsofia said, that once your menstruation is off, once you're not ovulating, it should be a red flag for anyone, like, maybe I should work on my diet, maybe I should work on stress management.
So true. So your services cater to individuals and couples navigating their fertility journeys, right? I mean, the if it's a couple, like the partner can also participate even if they're not trying to conceive or anything. I mean, is it supportive to have the partner participate?
I love this question because it's so important. So much attention is paid to the woman because we're the ones that conceive and carry a pregnancy, but the male is 50% of the equation, and the health of the male is 50% of the equation. So what we always say is that both for blood circulation and for movement, try to pull your partner in, do the exercises together. Yes, they're built for women, but it's so therapeutic both for the male physiology, but also for your relationship, to be able to do something fun together and work towards that health together. But the good news is, and the breaking news that we're mentioning here first, is that we are launching our men's exercises, which we've only been teaching in our in-person classes. So they'll be coming in the next month. And so we'll have separate men's exercises that helps with sperm count, quality, motility. So that'll be great for men as well. So they can do both. They can work on their blood flow and circulation, working out with their spouse or with their partner, but they can also work on themselves separately through the men's exercises. So we're super excited about that.
That is very exciting. And I was thinking more of a support system, but now you have a program for the male partner as well. I love that.
Yeah. Yes, we're
Fantastic.
very excited about it.
So can you share more about the unique ways that your approach help them feel supported and empowered? I know we talked a little bit about that, but can you how do you create a personalized experience for each person, even though it's online, your online classes? And what is their impact on their journey? How have you seen the impact in their journeys?
So we have one-on-one call with every single client of us, so they can ask any questions. We go through the medical history, where they are, and then we personalize the exercises for them. And beyond that, we also have a wonderful WhatsApp app community where they can join to, and everybody's in the same shoe, right? So there is no silly question, there is no small questions. We always respond within minutes, and we love to have a good conversations with all the ladies and really motivate each other to do the exercises. And if they have any questions, if they heard about some new resource, I mean, bring it on. We would love to know about it.
And I think the most important thing that we want to tell people is that this is not complicated. This is a really fun and simple workout program that is structured. So there's a reason for every single movement, but it's not difficult. Pretty much anybody can do them. And if anybody has any kind of modifications that they need, that's where the personalized class or the one-on-one class comes in as well. So we work with you, we'll modify for you as necessary, but anyone can do these and should do these exercises. So it really is for pretty much everybody. There are some cases where we don't recommend it, but again, we talk through it. And in terms of the classes themselves, there's a 3-day trial period. It's a subscription format, but you can come check it out, try it out, see how you feel before you sign up. And you can, you can try it for a month. We would like for you to commit to it for a couple of months to really, this is not a quick fix. We
Right.
really would like you to practice it. We only need you to do it 2 to 3 times a week. And for some, some people get pretty fast results. For others, it can take a few months. But again, we're there to, assist, hold hands, and be there for our members.
Yeah, and it's not a big time commitment. It's literally 30 minutes or under 30 minutes, and you only need to do it twice a week. So it's very doable. If you really want to do it, you can find 30 minutes to, spend on yourself. Usually scroll on them, on a phone longer than that. So there is no excuse. You can try it, and you can try it for free for 3 days. So to see if it really fits you or not.
I agree. 30 minutes. Come on. We can spend more time for ourselves, right? Than 30
I
minutes a
hope
day.
so. Yeah.
Yes.
So building a business around such an intimate and emotional topic must come with both challenges and rewards. Can you share a tough moment in your journey and how you overcame it and the key lesson you've learned that continues to guide your work today?
Ooh, that's an interesting one. I would say that, as you said, it's a very intimate way of moving. You're moving your hips, your pelvic muscles. So when we taught this in a group format, it was always challenging to get the ladies out of their head that no one is watching you. And now, in an online format, you can be hiding in your bedroom, lock everybody out, the kids, the husband, the parents, and no one is watching, right? So it's only you and us recorded. Or if we have a one-on-one classes, it's so personal. It's between the person and us, right? About what do you think, Zsofia?
I think in terms of, just to answer the second part of your question, I think the challenge is we're not the first ones to bring exercises online, but we're the first ones to bring this method online. And so the challenge was really in just thinking it through from that client's perspective, to meet them where they are, to make sure that, this is not just something that we're recording and putting in front of you, but how can we create that community for you? How can you feel like, and we say this all the time, we wanted to create something that we wish we had in our 20s. because we didn't get proper diagnosis. We had to research for ourselves. So we want to be that resource for that 25, 30, 35-year-old woman who doesn't know where to start as having challenges. So if you come to the fertility class, yes, we'll teach you this amazing movement method, but Marta is a nutritionist, so we have a nutrition program as part of it. We have these one-on-one classes, so you can actually ask questions. We have our own meditation program as part of it. You know, we talk to you about endocrine disruptors. I mean, we really try to give you all of the foundations for being healthy and for that fertility health. So that's our mission, to be that one-stop shop and to be that resource for that woman who might be lost and who we once were.
Yeah, very lost.
Oh, it's so easy to be lost in this fertility world. And sometimes doctors, they don't have the time, or they just can't explain things that are so intimate and internal, like emotionally. It's hard for doctors, are very technical sometimes, and they try their best, of course, but sometimes they just can't explain, like there's so much going on inside a woman's emotional state and the mental state when we're going through fertility or hormonal changes or anything like that, right? So it's hard to get all the answers from a medical doctor.
Yeah,
Yes.
and I think that's, that it's not necessarily their job. If you go into a medical doctor, then it should be assumed that you need medical advice. And, they're not nutritionists or dietitians or psychologists. So people need to get that information from elsewhere, but where do you go? And then do you then need to spend thousands of dollars on all these different specialists? You really don't. I mean, the foundations of health are practically free or very low cost. And so that's, that foundation is what we want to give you. You may be an outlier case and you need more in-depth help,
Yes.
but just for those foundational pillars, that's where we want the fertility class to offer that for you, and you can build on that. And it's a lifelong, it's information that you'll use for the rest of your life.
So
Yeah.
true. Such
Yeah.
a holistic approach. I love it. Sorry, you wanted to say something, Marta?
No, I mean, I think Zsofia said it, so I just maybe wanted to add that maybe you have to end up in a doctor's office for IVF for whatever reason, but still you can work on your nutrition. You can start these exercises to get your body ready for whatever is ahead of you. So it's something that you can do, right? So it's not like you go to acupuncture and you have to lie down and they put all the needles in you and you're just lying there like a corpse, and you pay $100+ every single time, and you have to go at least 6 times to 10 times to feel the actual benefit of that treatment. And I'm not talking against acupuncture, because I think it's wonderful, but here you log in and the information is there and it's really available. I don't know whether have we mentioned that it's $40 and by per month, and it's available, and we made this way, so whatever is your financial situation, we can work with you. If the $40 is too much, DM us. We will find a way to help you.
It's so accessible to everyone. I love that. That is, and then you can still, like, if you're in another country and $40 is too much for you, maybe, they can reach you and find a way to make it work. I love that.
Yeah, please. In fact, we encourage people, because that's why we started the fertility class, to make this information accessible to everybody. So yes, we're available, and it really is, as Marta was alluding to it through the acupuncture example. This is really powerful. This can be really something that is a great tool in your toolbox, and we know that it's very limited in terms of reaching this information and being able to practice this method. So yes, it's very important to us that it's accessible, and if it isn't currently, then that you come and talk to us. We'll make it work.
That's amazing. So let's talk about the ways that the fertility class gives back to the community. You already said that you will work with people who need maybe some more support, some help with paying the $40 a month, but are there any partnerships, causes, or initiatives that you are especially proud of that align with your values, organizations that you support, or any other giving back initiatives that you have?
Yes, we're actively looking for foundations who are already working with women who are looking for fertility support. So there are a lot of foundations who give grants and financial help towards fertility treatments. So we would love to work with those foundations to also offer the exercises as a tool for those women, or anybody in their network. It's really, really important for us that we reach women that are not of the privilege to have access to this kind of information. So we provide scholarships for people that are of need. And again, the beauty is that you need internet access. So really, that's the only limiting factor. But if you have a computer or a phone with internet access, you can access our classes and you can practice. And as we said, in terms of giving back to the community, we give our time in terms of health advice, in terms of our own community chat, and providing that information, and working with foundations to spread the information and make this tool available for women. So we try to cover a large group of people and a vast group of or number of organizations to spread the word.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. I thought Marta was going to say something.
No, I think Zsofia really covered everything. I think we have so many plans for the future, for teens, for menopausal, perimenopausal women, and maybe reaching out to schools is in the future to teach teens from the young age how to be aware of their body, and whatever the future holds, we are really open to everything. And that's why we love to go and do demo classes for free, just to kind of spread the word and get people interested and really teach them that this is a tool that you can have in your pocket and work on yourself any day, anytime.
I agree with the schools and the education. This is something that is missing in schools. This
Absolutely.
education for kids, for girls, and even for boys about their bodies. It's not just fertility. I mean, you don't want your kids to have babies when they're in school and teenagers, but they need to understand their body. They need to know what is healthy, what is not healthy, and it needs to go deeper than the wellness classes that they have in school.
Oh,
I really agree.
absolutely. Yeah, and I think what both Zsofia and I experience as young teens, that you go to the doctor that, oh my God, like I'm covered with acne and I haven't had a period for 6 months, and like, oh, let me regulate your period by putting you on a birth control pill. Now the problem with that girls today already entering puberty at age 8, 9, that's the average age. It's quite alarming. I mean, you should not put a child on birth control by any means, because there are ways to handle and heal the body holistically. At least let's start there. Let's start there and see what we can do. And maybe if the body doesn't respond because it's so off, like, then we can work with other solutions.
Yeah,
I
I think, Wanda, you really, out highlighted why we feel it's so important for us to be on this mission, because we have, this incredible information and tool that we can give women. And I've personally been involved with this exercise method for 15 years, Marta for 10. And all this time, we were teaching it, but more just as a way of giving back. And we always thought that for sure someone is going to make this into something and spread the word. And it hasn't happened. And so, I felt a personal responsibility to take this on and teach first and foremost people who are trying to have a child, just because it's such a painful time when you can succeed in conceiving. But as you said, this goes far beyond that both ways, teen to menopause. So many women are struggling, and we have this amazing tool. So really that is 100% our mission, to spread the word, to let people know that this exists, and it can be so very helpful, and it can really heal so many of those things that you're struggling with on a daily basis.
I'm a fan of your work. I love it.
Thank you.
Thank you both for sharing your inspiring journey and for the invaluable work you do to support individuals and couples in their fertility journeys and beyond. You're showing us that businesses can not only be a force for good, but also deeply transformative in the lives of others. So, to everyone watching, remember that every choice we make can shape the future. Let's choose wisely, live intentionally, and support those who are making a difference, like our friend Zsofia and Marta. So stay inspired, stay motivated, and let's keep building a brighter future together.